Eu estou aqui tendo o prazer de entrevistar Ellie Norman, ela que é CMO da Fórmula E e uma das mulheres mais influentes no esporte mundial. A Ellie já teve cargos de liderança em marketing e comunicações em grandes empresas, como a Honda, a Fórmula 1, Manchester United e agora a Fórmula E. E está aqui em São Paulo, a cidade que vai receber a abertura da temporada 12 da Fórmula E com São Paulo E-Prix. Ellie, it's such a pleasure to have you here, special to have you in São Paulo, while the city is getting prepared to receive Formula E with the São Paulo E-Prix. But not only for that, also because Brazilians are very passionate about motorsport. So, tell us, how does it feel to bring Formula E closer to the Brazilian audience?
Well, first of all, it's amazing to be here. So, not only is Sao Paulo an incredible city, I love coming here because of the warmth, not just because of the weather, but the passion, the energy. And I think what's incredibly special about Brazil, and more importantly, Sao Paulo, is just the absolute passion that the Brazilian fan base has for motorsport. And I think Formula E coming here, it's a real opportunity to take that passion from the heritage of motorsport and connect it into the future of motorsport.
Ellie, we're going to talk about Formula E, but first, I would like to take the opportunity to talk about your career. You have quite a curriculum. You've worked in huge companies and in Formula One. How did the experience to lead in fields that are usually led by men has taught you about leadership in a global level?
It's a really fantastic question because it's never something that I've really thought about. But the older I get, the more I recognize that I've typically worked in male-dominated industries. And I think as I reflect, it's very much been a case of not fitting into the old mold. Sometimes you have to work perhaps that much harder to earn the respect. But I think from that, you really grow resilience. And the longer I've been working, the more I've learned that actually genuine leadership is about being authentic. It's about great communication, collaborating, and actually importantly, bringing diverse voices into the room, because I'm a very passionate believer that those diverse voices, that drives growth. And every single business is about growth.
One thing I would like to point out, I just met you today, and your personality, it's really inviting. Do you think your personality has an important role on your success? Because just talking to you for 5 minutes makes me want to do whatever you want and collaborate, because you're so nice and you're so willing to listen to whoever is sitting with you.
Well, first of all, thank you. I would really like to think that my personality and who I am as a person goes a long way, because I'm certainly never the smartest person in the room. I'm very fortunate to have an incredible team around me who are experts, but I think my genuine strength is my ability to listen. I love people. So I really take huge energy from being with people, being able to kind of listen, to ideate, to think about how can we solve problems together. And fundamentally, this is about trying new things, seeing how can we grow together, and importantly, in partnership, how can you win and how can we win? And that's what I really love to do.
Talking about trying new things, you had an important role on the growth of Formula One during the Liberty Media era, the beginning of the Liberty Media era. You were the first CMO during that period. What lessons did you take from this experience and brought to Formula E?
I had an incredible 5 seasons, kind of 5 years at Formula One. I think if I was to distill my learnings, I'd maybe distill it into 2 key learnings. Number 1, storytelling. And number 2, be fan obsessed. So I think everyone now recognizes how culturally hot and interesting Formula One is. And I'm a very big advocate for storytelling. people by people. And it is those stories that we tell, whether it's about the drivers, the team principals, what's happening in and amongst the paddock, that people really sort of resonate with. And everything is about how do we best tell those stories to the audience. And the second thing for me is to be fan obsessed about everything. So every single decision that we make must start and end with the fan, because if we're not serving our fans, it's not going to translate into business growth.
Pretty amazing. You're about to complete 1 year, if I'm not mistaken, at Formula E. And what were your biggest challenges at the beginning? What sort of projects did you implement? And what kind of results are you seeing?
So you're absolutely right. I'm coming up to my first year in Formula E, and it has been genuinely really wonderful. I think those 2 lessons that I learned from sort of Formula One, I also sort of took with me to Manchester United. I'm bringing those 2 lessons with me to Formula E. So very much around storytelling and being absolutely fan obsessed. What's different for me coming to Formula E is it's really starting with clarity. And for me, the clarity coming into Formula E has been about who are we and who are we for? So we will not be for everyone. But the fan of Formula E is typically younger, very progressive, they're open-minded, they're values-driven, and they love technology. And so knowing that, plus knowing what is special about Formula E, we have a proven concept. We have wheel-to-wheel racing. We're racing in iconic cities, and that is just getting better and better and better. So we have an incredible new product coming, the Gen 4 car, which will be in December 2026. But for us now, this is really about scale up. And for me, the way to scale up is really focusing on fandom. How do we grow our fans, but also how do we deepen our relationships with fans? And that comes back to my point around clarity about who are we for? And knowing who we're for and where they are, for me, that's a focus around YouTube. It's being around TikTok. It's being around sort of Instagram and really creating that content that our fans want to engage with. And that's about storytelling, the drivers, their personalities, the journeys, the rivalries, really getting behind the scenes and explaining the sport, and also experimenting with new formats. So actually one of the projects I've been most proud of in my sort of first year was the Formula E Evo sessions. So again, we took 11 of the biggest personalities, creators, and we paired them with the drivers and the teams. And the drivers and the teams trained them to get inside the championship cars and to drive those championship cars.
That was amazing.
And it was so cool because this isn't about Formula E, the championship, controlling the storytelling. This is about recognizing that these creators have their own fan bases, their own audiences. They can tell stories that resonate with their fans and genuinely brings to life the magic of Formula E. So for me, working inside of the championship, this isn't about control, but it's about identifying and working with the right creators and allowing them to remix Formula E and to tell the story in a way that works for their audiences whilst giving them an incredible experience. The thought that we are taking, or we took 11 of those creators and they were trained to drive the championship car, that car accelerates 30% faster than a Formula One car. I mean, it was just magic.
This is all very interesting. I saw all of that happening. It's pretty amazing. The world is talked about when it happened. How would you describe the moment of Formula E and where is it heading to?
Yeah. So for me right now, the concept of Formula E has been proven. Really close wheel-to-wheel racing, incredible iconic cities, and basically very innovative electrification. Where we're going is about scale up. So that's about broadening the fan base. That's about deepening our fan base. That's about expanding the calendar and not only providing our partners, commercial partners and partners with visibility, but also with meaning. And the DNA of Formula E is very much around that sort of meaning. So innovation, technology, being purpose-led, sustainable, and that absolutely resonates with our audience today and where our fan growth is coming from. And I don't think there is any company, any brand, or any partner that doesn't want to be relevant, and we can give them that relevancy.
That's the point that I was going to get into. We are in Brazil right now. We are about to have the opening of the season in December, the 6th of December with the São Paulo E-Prix. That's going to be the 4th time the Formula E races in Brazil. How important and strategic is this market for the whole project?
Brazil as a market is huge. It's passionate, it's energetic. Sao Paulo is like the beating heart. And for me, it's where heritage meets the future. So it's absolutely right that Formula E is racing here in such an iconic city that is also on the global stage. I think what's incredibly exciting is to come to a country like Brazil and to be in Sao Paulo to kickstart the entire sort of championship. And what I love most is not just about the passion of watching. I think Brazilian passion just goes that much further. They want to be engaged. They want to be involved. They really want to be immersed within that experience, and they go all in. So it's that storytelling, being able to really identify with who is the hero, where is the rivalry, what's the kind of gossip. That's what I love about the Brazilian fan base. And it's why it's so important and so fantastic that we start our season here. Because at the start of the season, the hopes and the dreams are there. We have 20 drivers. Each one of those 20 drivers is going out to be a world champion. Each 10 of those teams is wanting to be a world champion. And so to start with all those storylines and all the possibilities is just perfect that we do that in Sao Paulo.
So Formula E has a very defined audience project. Why is it so appealing for brands? Not only in Brazil, but worldwide. And what kind of brands?
So I think worldwide, every single company, every single brand wants to be relevant. So I think certainly today, we're all fighting to get people's attention. And I think what Formula E has to offer is an incredible platform. So not only can we provide visibility, more importantly, we provide meaning. So we are values-led, sustainable, and very much about being progressive and about the future. So this is a real kind of showcase to really demonstrate that sort of human progress and the performance that comes with that. And I think, therefore, that sort of brands that really align with our DNA, plus they align with who our audience is. So it's, for me, it's wonderful to come to a motorsport and you see our fan base is 50-50 gender split.
That's true.
Typically younger, very open-minded. They like to try new things. They're progressive. They really think about themselves as world citizens, early adopters of technology. Like, this is an audience that is growing. I mean, from season 10, the fan base was 374 million. If you go back through the previous sort of 10 seasons, on average, the growth has been 20%. From season 10 to season 11, when we came to that sort of growth, 23%.
Wow.
So when I talk about the fact that the concept has been proven and we're now scaling, the DNA remains the same, but actually that audience is kind of growing. And with that, we see our TV audiences growing. And so we absolutely provide, I think, for those brands that want to align with being relevant, being kind of progressive and about the future. Not only do we provide them the visibility, but we also provide the meaning.
We see the female audience growing a lot regarding motorsports. That happens with Formula One. Yeah. I'm a woman working with motorsport myself, and I have young girls all the time sending me Instagram messages. Oh, I study journalism. I want to work with motorsports. That's becoming more common. Yeah. How do you see the role of a woman in Formula E? How do you see it growing? Is it really happening?
I do. What I really admire about Jeff Dodds, who's our CEO, is he's a very big believer around diversity of thought. And therefore, the team that he's created, it's 50-50 gender split. So from the executive team, we're 50-50 all the way through the organization. And the wonderful thing I think about motorsport is, yes, you see that there might be 20 seats for a driver, but it's a company. There is a role everywhere that you can think of. There's finance, there's HR, there's marketing, there's PR, there's media, there's like sustainability, there's commercial, there's operations. The amount of roles in motorsport is really quite huge. And I think anywhere that you can dream big enough and be bold enough to back yourself, there is a role for a woman in motorsport.
Great. Let's talk about the São Paulo E-Prix. Mm-hmm. What can fans expect? What can partners expect of this event that has been growing every year?
So come on, we're in Brazil, so you have to expect a festival. First of all, I think guaranteed wheel-to-wheel racing, great music, high energy, colour, joy, and really being a part of culture. It is an absolutely magical event, and it's just the best place to kickstart the season for Formula E.
And just to finish, Ellie, we're all going to be there. I'm going to be there, and we're waiting for you as well. Just to finish, you are a role model for many young people who want to start in a marketing communications career, especially women. What will be your advice?
Absolutely dream big and back yourself. So what I would say is you never travel life in a straight line. And be patient, enjoy the journey, enjoy the squiggles, but just dream big, because I think hard work, having that clarity, the resilience, you can absolutely achieve what you want to achieve. Just put your mind to it.
Ellie, thank you very much. You were absolutely amazing. And I'm sure it was a pleasure for everyone that watched. Gente, é isso. São Paulo E-Prix vai ser dia 6 de dezembro no IMB. E nós esperamos vocês lá para uma corrida eletrizante com um grid de elite de uma categoria mundial. Nos vemos por lá.
Obrigada.
Thank you.